photograph. An Al-Qaeda bomb plotter pleads to Europe for his freedom. This has echoes of Abu Hamza, doesn't it?
Well, I think it's the case of Abdullah Ahmed Ali is being convicted in our courts of conspiracy to murder because he wanted to bring down certain aeroplanes and cause carnage and destroy so many people's lives. He was convicted of conspiracy to murder in our country and is now serving a sentence. He has now appealed against that to the European courts by saying, I did not get a fair trial because there was so much publicity about my case that the jury would have been adversely affected in coming to a certain decision. I think that's completely utter nonsense. It's pathetic in the sense where, the reason I say it's pathetic, you have a Crown Court, you have the Court of Appeal, you have the Supreme Court in our country, which are some of the best judges in the world. And we saw only a few days ago when they opened up the Court of Appeal and people could see the calibre of judges. I think to override them and say, I want to go to Europe because, I have...
So he shouldn't be allowed to go to the European Court?
In my view, it should be a case that goes to the Supreme Court because we have some of the best judges in the Supreme Court. And in long term, I think this is a perfect example why we come out of the European Court completely and allow the Supreme Court, in my view, one of the best courts in the world, to make the final decision.
Rehman, do you agree?
I think that the European Court, when it was first set up with a lot of conservative support, was not ever intended to defend people like this in this way. I think it has been warped and we have to look at that. The other thing that I think was quite concerning from this article was that this case has already cost the British taxpayer £100 million and is set to increase on that fee if it does go to the European Court. So I share your concerns.
Okay, let's have a look at the next story, and this is the ongoing Celebgate row. It rolls on and on. We're going to hear more about it this week. Take us to the next level of this, Rehman.
Well, what you have two officers who came to give evidence before the Home Affairs Select Committee chaired by, Keith Baz. And he's now said, having, come to a conclusion after inquiries conducted by the committee by saying that their evidence was appalling. Appalling in the sense where one of them, said he did not say certain thing by referring to the Home Secretary as that woman, which quite clearly says he was not telling the truth. And the other one was asked about if there was any previous inquiries in relation to his conduct. And he said no, there was 13 previous inquiries in relation to his conduct previously, and therefore he was not truthful in that respect. And that quite clearly shows that these officers, in terms of can you take at value the truthfulness of what they say, and the answer is no. And these were the same officers who met Andrew Mitchell, and they came out with a different version of events. So the whole issue about integrity of the police, I think it is bringing into account the whole issue with the Flaggate, and I think it's a pretty sad state of affairs for police officers to act in certain ways.
And we have to have these two police officers in front of the committee next week. And I think that's going to be an important moment. And it's an important moment not just for the British public, who need to have trust in the police, but also for other police officers. Because it helps other police officers who are doing a good job to know that those who are doing a bad job are brought to justice so that they can have trust in their profession. One thing I think that's going to be politically quite interesting is why David Cameron did not back Mitchell in this particular case, and I applaud the work of David Davis, who stuck by Mitchell throughout all of this, but there will be more questions for David Cameron about why he didn't stand by Mitchell in the first place.
Discussions were had at the time when this came about. If the Prime Minister knew what we know now, I think that would not be the case. But of course, certain things happened at the time. The Prime Minister had discussions with the Chief Whip, and the decision was made. Look, let me make it quite clear. Andrew Mitchell is a great guy. He was a fantastic...
Will he make a comeback?
There is no reason why somebody with such calibre, such talent, should not be brought back in. And this now...
Did David Cameron make a knee-jerk reaction though? Shouldn't he have waited for a full inquiry to find out exactly what would happen before he cast him aside?
Well, look, in terms of the length of time it took to have certain of these issues come to light was a few months later than...
So you withhold judgment until that time?
But look, when you're a Prime Minister, you have to make a decision, but also I think Andrew met the Prime Minister, they came to a certain conclusion on that.
Okay, there we must leave it, but we will have plenty more opportunity in half an hour's time to go through more of tomorrow's papers, but for now, Rowan and Raymond, thank you. Let's take a look.